to another episode of Paid to Talk with Lee Hart and myself, Matt Ward, Lobo de Noche, where we are paid to talk, but you are not paid to listen or watch, I guess, Lee.
Yes, but we certainly hope you do, that's for sure. I tell you what, Matt, we've got a fantastic show today. You know, it's 28 years since the classic movie Titanic hit the screen, of course, directed by James Cameron. Epic movie, and I tell you what, there's never been such interest in the Titanic as there is in the present day, which is fascinating. So what better person to talk to about that, about the movie, about the Titanic, than James Cameron himself? Unfortunately, he's not here due to a mix-up between you and myself, but joining us, of course, is a man who needs no introduction, but we'll give him one, Shane Cameron.
Yeah, I mean, it was
per the guest, but
slightly easier to track down Shane Cameron than James Cameron.
yes,
Apparently James Cameron,
we'll leave it there. But
he's
take
in
your
the
point.
country somewhere.
Yeah, okay, we'll take you. Look, Shane, welcome to the show. Did you see the movie Titanic?
I did actually. I've actually watched it a couple of times, so I was a bit of a fan of it, to be fair.
You were? Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies you know what's going to happen at the end, but somehow it's still compelling.
Yeah.
Look, we'll pivot from there for now into something a little bit more familiar to myself and yourself, probably not so much Matt, boxing.
Yeah.
The fight last night, Gallen, SBW, thoughts on that?
Yeah. So, I sort of predicted at the start that Sonny needs to show something different that he hasn't done before, which is always a challenge. You always stick to what you know. So I was hoping that he'd sort of stamp some authority, and he did a little bit, but then he nearly got pulled up, or actually got a point deduction.
Exactly, almost got he got penalised for almost stamping too much authority with that size. Because when you see him as a boxer, you know, long arms, long legs, he looks like the perfect build for a boxer. But something not quite there. Or?
Yeah, well, it's up here. It's like he's a tremendous athlete. You know, probably one of the best that I know of. You know, and again, he's a specimen. So just sometimes just needs to show what he's capable of doing. He needs to show his strength.
Yeah. It's a unique sport in that sense, isn't it? So much mental, and different styles make different. You know, they say about boxers, that kind
Different
of thing.
styles, different
Well, let's
fights.
talk about yourself with boxing. Back from the start, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously keeping fit still yourself, but how does a kid from small town New Zealand, Tini Roto, become a heavyweight boxer?
Good question.
Yeah. Well, it all started from a farm kid. I wanted to be mum and dad weren't fortunate to have a farm, but we lived in the country. Yeah, Tini Roto, as you pointed out, Tini Roto consists of a pub and a school, so the main amenities. So I grew up there. From a young boy, all I knew what I wanted to be, which was to be a shepherd, to ride a horse to work every day and chase sheep and cows and muster and breaking horses and sheepdogs and all that sort of stuff. So, and I did that till I was, I talk about turning points in your life, had a major turning point where a couple of my dogs died, and I thought, I might go to England to do my OE. Didn't know what OE meant, but I'd heard some good stories about OEs, so I thought, so handed in my notice and away I went. That's how I sort of got into boxing.
What, over in UK?
Yeah.
So what age would that be then?
I had my first fight the week of my 20th birthday.
So that's quite late, isn't it, for a later professional boxer? That's quite late to start.
Very late, very late. So I trained for 3 months, and then had my first fight the week of my 20th birthday. So
because when did you start boxing, Lee? That was sort of more underground, wasn't it?
Yeah, underground. I did that charity of the cancer awareness, the cancer fight, the charity one.
Yeah.
I actually fought a guy with cancer, and that's it was raising money for cancer, but I actually was fighting a guy who had cancer, which I actually lost on points, funny enough. But I digress. No, I just do for fitness stuff. I've never dared to get in the ring like Shane, because that must be it's one of those unique sports, isn't it? There's very few. I mean, you got athletics and Usain Bolt, it's just him, Yeah. And in boxing, it's same thing. It's just you.
Individual, yeah, it is. And I played rugby. I probably played rugby more when I went to England at my later age. But the team sort of sport was good, but it didn't really capture me like the individual sport. I'm a bit of a control freak anyway, so it sort of suits me. I'm one man band. I just like to do it all myself. Whereas if we lose a game of rugby, for example, it will be because someone missed the kick or missed the tackle or dropped the ball. And then with the sport of boxing, if I lose, then if I lose, man, I look at myself in the mirror and I know why I lost.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, about the how it is an individual sport, but it can be affected a lot by other people. I'm talking about the politics, I suppose, of boxing and many sports like that as well. But the rest of your career, obviously, you went on to such great things, but highlights for you?
Highlights for me in the sport of, in boxing?
Yeah.
Sparring Mike Tyson. Sparring Iron Mike Tyson for 2 weeks in Phoenix, Arizona. That was definitely a highlight. When you have experiences like that, and anything in life, if you ever experienced it, you've overcome them, you've survived and come out the other side, and you do all right, that builds confidence, and in life we need confidence.
But at that stage of your career, you're kind of getting to the top of your game then anyway, right?
I was starting to build up. I had 11 pro fights at that time. 11 fights, 11 wins, 10 by knockout. So I was on my way. So
what weight were you boxing then?
Heavyweight.
Heavyweight by then? Okay.
Heavyweight then. So, and even it's probably 5 kilos heavier than what I am now. Oh, maybe a bit more. Yeah, it's probably about 106.
And any good stories from your sparring with Mike Tyson?
Yeah, there's one that I always throw out there. Because on Mike, he speaks with a bit of a lisp and a high-pitched voice, eh? And I remember sparring one day and it was heavy. All the sparring sessions are heavy with Mike. He doesn't hold back, but and he threw a hook on me and I caught the hook and then he caught me in the groin area, which I went to bring it down, but he caught me actually in my nuts. And I said, "Hey, Mike, what's the low shots?" He goes, "Very Shane."
It's almost like you should have had that voice.
Yeah, I was just like, "Oh, shit, man." That come out of the baddest man.
Yeah, that must be weird.
Yeah. But, you don't say nothing. You just defend yourself at all times like you do in boxing.
And I mean, speaking of celebrity boxing matches, there's been, last night we had Gallon and Sonny Bill. There's been Mike Tyson and Paul.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. I mean, Lee fancies himself as a bit of a boxer. You guys sort of like for like, is that potentially on the cards?
Me and Jake Paul? Or me and Shane?
Well, you and Shane.
No.
You do a lot of boxing training, don't you?
But you have brought up a good point, which I was kind of alluding to. The whole Jake Paul phenomena, that kind of... I suppose boxing has always been affected from the outside, hasn't it? Back in the 50s and 60s, they say the mob was involved in this sort of stuff. Fixed fights, this kind of thing. And we saw Tyson fight, you've sparred with him, fight Jake Paul. I think we all pretty much know he could have won that, right? I mean, he could. I mean, he's obviously old, but there was punches he didn't throw that you knew he would have thrown.
Yeah, and it's interesting how you view it. I thought he was doing his best, He is 58 at the same time, and Jake Paul was, I don't know what he is, in his 20s, so they just move faster, and you can see Mike's aggression on his face. He is wanting to land those punches, but...
Oh, okay,
Yeah, like I was thinking, shit, because, to my personal opinion, I don't think it was set up.
Okay, is that right? So you'd know that because being in the ring with us that sort of haven't... We're looking at it like
well, you're probably
a hero
thinking that Mike Tyson, a bad man against Jake Paul, was so meant to be. He's not a bad athlete now. You think about Sonny Bill and Paul Gallen, and then Jake Paul. They've been in the game for a decade. It's 10 years, so you can learn a lot in 10 years, eh?
I suppose he'd just been in
and
the
no one just gives them the credit. No one gives them the credit just because they don't have the
Did you notice he was biting the glove? That scared the
He does
bejesus
that,
out
you
of
know
him.
what? Because he does that when, even when I was sparring him, he was biting his glove then. Yeah, because he's like, he's just, I was like, man, what's he eating his glove? But it's just great. It's just
what he does. Yeah, okay.
So he was doing it against Jake Paul.
Better than the ear, I suppose.
Yeah.
That
could be why.
I suppose, okay, there's that issue that I say, pay per view, I suppose, you want to see this person against this person.
Yeah.
The whole so-called Ring magazine rankings of old, the people that should be fighting and aren't getting shots and they're giving it to someone else, this kind of thing, because it's bums on seats, pay-per-view. But I suggest it's always been a problem, but it's worse than ever.
It comes down to money. If you look at Joseph Parker, he's beaten, had some massive wins. He beaten Deontay Wilder and then Zhang, the big Chinaman, and he's still not getting a shot. So you got to think about the what's that big fight? Dubois and Usyk.
Yeah.
So them two fighting is a massive fight. So Usyk fighting Dubois, let's just say $50 million fight. But if he fights Parker, it's probably going to be a $15 million fight.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's just.
But at some point, if he beats Dubois, he would the man that has.
Might just interrupt you there, Lee. We'll be
Do
back
you have
with, kind of. We've got sponsorship issues. Okay. So we'll be back with Shane Cameron in just a moment after these messages. Welcome back to Pay to Talk with Lee Hart and myself, Matt Ward, Loba de Noche. We're joined by Shane Cameron, Lee.
That's right. Boxer, fitness guru Shane Cameron. It's a great show. If you haven't heard the first part already, go back and check it out. Of course, if you listen to this already, you obviously have heard the first part.
Unless you started at halfway. I don't know why you'd start at halfway.
No, I don't know why you would anyway, but the point is, listen to the whole thing. Don't start it halfway through because there's some good stuff at the start.
And how many heavyweight belts are there? I don't know a huge amount about boxing. There seems to be a bunch out there.
4.
People are getting annoyed with rugby, with the refereeing and the laws. They don't understand. It's slowing the game down compared to league. Boxing, the confusion for me is Joshua and Fury should have fought by now. They've dodged, and now they're trying to set up, and no one really cares. So, you know, it annoys me, that aspect. But back in history, I read or saw somewhere that Ali actually was the start of this problem.
Right.
I think because he had that exile, he came back into boxing, and it was the first time I think Don King got involved in something where he was the challenger.
Yeah.
And for the first time, he was actually getting more of the purse than who he's challenging, who was the champion at the time. So it was out of whack for the first time.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to see that fight, regardless of who else was there. So, and that I think is built on itself, and that's what you sort of see today. Yeah.
Yeah, well, for certain fights to happen, it comes down to the money. Some of those big fights, like you say, Ali was, he was maybe not he was a challenger, but probably got more money because of his name and his popularity and all that stuff.
Do you think in any fight the title holder should be making more no matter what? So they're fighting for the purse kind of thing.
Or it just comes down to popularity too, you know, like, and I sort of know that, so that's just in my way of thinking anyway. You know, that guy should get more because, you know, he's got the title, but no, the guy with the title, like you think of Chris Bird, former world champion, he fought and beat David Tua, and he was boring. He was a boring heavyweight, and like he won the title. He defended the title 20 times, but he was boring. No one wanted to see him. You know. So once he got the title taken off him, you know, so it's the title has some value, but the person holding the title has a lot more value.
Yeah,
you know?
Commercial realities.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what. Yeah, sorry.
I certainly think if you're fighting someone with cancer, they should probably get the bigger purse than the.
Well, they got the funding eventually. They got the funding in the long term. But and that's why they put like a brawler against a boxer. Because it's more exciting to watch than 2 brawlers or 2 boring boxers.
Yeah.
You know, straight boxers, I suppose.
Yeah. It all depends. It's just styles make fights.
Yeah,
you know, styles make fights, and some fighters do well against taller fighters, and some fighters don't do well. Like for me, for example, I do well against taller guys as opposed to shorter guys. I don't think I've won a fight against someone that's been shorter than me. So
speaking of shorter guys, but I suppose we have to talk about the Tour fight. Yeah, you know, I went to that.
Yeah,
and down in Hamilton.
Yeah. You're front row, were you?
Too close. Wherever I was, but it was. I mean, what were your thoughts going into that? You must have been confident.
Yeah, definitely very confident. You know, I've had 92 fights, and I haven't gone into one fight thinking I was going to lose. But you know, it's just, you know, I spoke about it last night about, you know, the styles make fights, and one punch can change the whole game. And styles make fights for that one, and David, one of the biggest punchers in the heavyweight division. But he caught me with his famous left hook, and I didn't really know what I'd done until I watched the replay. Yeah. You know, so just
like you say, the height thing. He was probably the type of style you least wanted to fight. I suppose.
Yeah. As opposed to me fighting the bigger guys, because I like to be the faster guy out of the bigger guys. And I can just catch them easier, where shorter guys are. But it doesn't mean just because he's shorter I lost to him. It's just he just caught me too good.
But you and David are friends, aren't you?
Yeah, it took a while. Man. It took like 7 years. Like I say, it took 7 years. I was mowing the lawns one day. I think, I need to just try and cement, sort it out. So I invited around for dinner, and him and I got on the piss in my man cave for drinking tequilas and talking boxing and life. Yeah, it was good. Brilliant. It was good. Just broke the ice.
The interesting, they talk about a Tua Tyson fight back in their heyday. What might have happened there would have been interesting. Again, they don't do those sort of fights, do they?
No, well, that would have been a good fight, and I don't know why they didn't. And I've been in the ring with both those guys, so and people have asked me who do I think would win, and I sort of favoured David to win this for the simple reason is he can bang and he's got a good chin. And they both got similar styles. Like Tyson's faster, throws more punches, he moves faster, but he doesn't punch as hard. He punches hard, but doesn't punch as hard as David. And he's got a rock solid chin, so he doesn't have a rock solid chin like David has. So if those two pit bulls win at it, it'll be maybe a super fight.
And then, sorry, mate.
No, I was going to say, do you train in your jandals like David Tua does?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I would. Yeah, no, I don't. No,
so I can see you sitting next to Lee here. I can tell that you're looking quite fit, looking quite strong.
Yeah.
And that's you've got your own gym.
Yeah. We got the Shane Cameron Fitness. Yeah, it's on Orneva Road there. Yeah, had it for sort of
Well, that's the fundamental question. Did you get into boxing because you always like fitness? Because you've continued with fitness post boxing. So it's like Richie McCaw still keeps really fit post rugby. Yeah. Some people say I've worked hard, give that up, I just relax now. You obviously you wouldn't say the word obsessed isn't the word, but obviously fitness is your life.
Yeah, it's a good point you make. I've always sort of been fit. When I started boxing, it sort of just changed my whole way of thinking, and then retiring. And I'm not going to go. There's two things I was good at was farming and then being fitness and sport. So I didn't want to go back to farming. Yeah. So I think I better just stay with fitness, or buy a gym or something like that.
And as we know, with fitness, sort of a huge part of it is sort of diet. As a boxer, especially yourself, you've got to lose weight sometimes you've got to put weight on to go between divisions, this kind of stuff. So the whole science of food would have become a big part of your learning and that sort of, what you're doing now.
Yes, definitely. I went all the way up to heavyweight and then dropped all the way down to fight for a world cruiserweight title. So I had to drop 15 kilos. So I know how to put on size, I know how to drop weight, and my favourite saying is you can't out-train a bad diet, so you can train like a madman, but if you don't tidy your eating and nutrition, you definitely won't get the results that.
Damn it.
What would you recommend for someone like Lee, for example, who's off to Europe in, I think, 10 days?
Probably less, yeah.
Yeah, well, is there some sort of concentrated 10-day...
to sort of lose maybe between 15 and 18 kg.
Yeah, well, shit, mate, I seen the photo of you looking in great nick, mate, in lockdown.
Oh, that's what I was doing some stuff with you then.
Yeah,
can we bring that up on the screen there?
Yeah.
So you see me working on I didn't have a heavy bag, I was using the kids' biscuit that we used for.
Hey, those abs. Hey.
Well, that was, we were doing that, you were doing the can workouts online with if you're just joining us, like a couple of cans.
For a little bit of weight.
It's amazing what that will do.
Yeah.
Look at my what are those muscles? Trapezoids?
Yeah, those
I don't know is there a name for those muscles?
No, the abs. They're abs.
They're abs, almost abs.
Yeah,
I've almost got abs there.
Yeah. That was good. And you had I had the boxing bag, but you had
the old biscuit.
The old biscuit.
Yeah.
The old biscuit, punching the biscuit.
Working.
Hey man, it's just you made it happen.
But the key there is, as you said, that lockdown, that was the first lockdown. I didn't drink through the whole lockdown.
Yeah.
And because of that, I thought, okay, I might as well eat better. And I was doing the training. So you do see the results incredibly quick, Well, not incredibly quick, but you're right. You're wasting your time if you work. I have this problem where if I take it easy, in the weekends and haven't really drunk much, that kind of thing, I feel I could make up for that by eating more.
Right.
You're one for the other kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
Where it doesn't really work that way, does it?
Nah.
It might just be easy to run your photos through AI once you get back.
That wasn't AI, by the way.
No.
Yeah, I need a real-time AI kind of thing.
Lee, I might just interrupt you there again.
Okay.
Just because we've got to throw to a couple of ads, but we'll be back very shortly with our special guest, Shane Cameron, not James. Welcome back to Pay to Talk. We are with special guest Shane Cameron.
That's right. Welcome back to you as well, Matt. And welcome back, Shane, as well. And back to yourself, Matt, which I also mentioned. So we're all here back talking to Shane, which you just said. So that's fine. Shane, well, speaking of that, look, I know you're into your meats and that kind of stuff. Like, you know, the what
Barbecues.
Is that sort of, I suppose you're growing up in the sort of farm kind of thing. You like, cooking sort of meat.
Preparation.
But that's good, isn't it? Meat is good.
Yeah. I'm simple fellow, man. So just meat, spuds, and veggies.
Spuds?
Yeah.
Jesus, I wish I hadn't said that. So I'm thinking up here at the Eco Lodge, maybe you could run like a camp. Like with, you could get, 20 people sign up or something.
Yes.
Where you could do like sessions in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe a session in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Then do a barbecue in the evening. A couple of beers.
Yeah.
Bit of fun.
Yeah.
Then you could do it maybe for a week. That'd be quite fun.
That'd be awesome.
Do you go out hunting yourself?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah. Because I'm from the country. So I go down home down Gizzy. I've been down a few times this year. Yeah. But I've always been successful. My brother's a big hunter down there. So always pretty successful with getting venison. Venison's pretty lean meat anyway,
Yeah.
So
Unless you make sausages with it, you actually got to mix it with sort of like fat, don't you? You got to put sort of pig fat and stuff with it, to make them kind of work.
Oh, you know.
Yeah. This is my world.
Because Lee, you were saying that you do a bit of hunting.
I said that, yes, I do a bit of hunting. Actually, you reminded me of a story, actually. I just ran here, not far from the Eco Lodge. I was up in the back blocks there, and you relate to this, Shane, I'm sure. So I'm up there, solo. I'm up there by myself in the back blocks, stalking, maybe for, I'd say, 3 days, 2 nights, 3 days, stalking this big 12-pointer. And they can sniff you. They know if you're there. So you got to come in low, slow, as you know, Shane. I get in there, spot her. She's there, beautiful, perfect in my sights. I tell you, this is a real keeper. You don't get many shots like this, Shane, and you know that better than anyone. So I'm there, I've lined her up. Click. No bullets in the gun. And any hunter knows you need bullets. And Shane, you know that. So there you go. I mean, it's not the greatest hunting story, I suppose, but it's it needs to be told. You can always chuck something else on the barbie, I suppose, but it's the. Look, we kind of digressed. Shane, back to you if we could. So the what else do you do besides what else keeps you? You got your hunting, you got your fitness. Obviously, it's pretty full time.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a boxing brand called Counterpunch, so I manufacture products in Pakistan and China and bring them here and try and make some money by selling it.
Fantastic.
That goes pretty good. I've got a fitness app, so everything I do is around fitness and sport and.
Well, I think what works with you, it's especially with blokes. I know you deal with a lot of women as well, but you're sort of keeping it real. People can relate to it. You have a few beers, you can barbie this kind of thing, as opposed to the sort of the gym head type people, which are total, like it up and stuff. More the world that Matt works in.
Pretty much
to a degree.
Do you have many clients in Pakistan, like sort of getting ripped boxes, or that's just where they make the
that's where they make that's where they make the
I was just imagining this clientele over in the Middle East that were pretty good boxers these days.
Well, Shane, I tell you what, any fights you're looking forward to coming up or seeing?
I'd love to see Parker get a decent fight. Get a shot, because he was world champion.
Usyk, perhaps, if that would be the one.
Yeah, that's probably. I don't think that'll happen, but that's just my personal opinion. Just because there's probably other guys. Well, mind you, Usyk's fought and beat everyone, if not once, but twice.
Yeah.
So Parker might get a shot in there, but I think.
And is Joseph? I've met Joseph a few times. Great guy. Is he a slight victim of his own? I mean, he's a good boxer, and people don't want to risk something against him, if you know what I mean. Yet he's not the type of guy that's going to make the set I don't want to say that wrong. Promoters aren't bending over backwards to get him in there, and boxers don't really want to risk something for, without the massive cash.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about before about the popularity. He is super popular, but just doesn't seem to draw. He's still getting massive money fights, but then the money's huge now.
And he's better than ever, isn't he? He's definitely better than ever. His fitness.
It's a big unit too.
You can tell he's certainly adjusted his diet and the whole science of his world. Yeah. He's looking totally different physically.
Definitely, yeah. But he's still a massive threat to any of the heavyweight divisions, to any of the heavyweights. And then so they look at, should I fight Parker? Well, I could fight this other bloke,
Yeah, that's it.
Deontay Wilder. Okay, I'll probably get 50 million if I fight Deontay Wilder. I might only get 15 if I fight Parker. You know, so even though it's money.
Yeah,
it's simple as that. It's not about the sport. It's not like this. It's like Joshua, like you said before, Joshua fighting Fury. It's never happened. And like you say, if they're going to happen now, it's just like, oh man, we should have had that bloody 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Speaking of Fury, time to hang it up. I mean, he keeps trying to come back.
Yeah, he's trying. Yeah, I don't know.
He's
like a boomerang, that guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, look, any final points, any final thoughts on the Titanic, the movie? Could they have done it different? Probably not.
Could they have done a sequel?
Yeah.
No, I suppose there's not really much to add on to the story, is there? And I mean, Lee talks about his boxing quite a bit. Potentially, you can get him in for a bit of a sparring session at your gym soon.
Just a light spar. Yeah. Maybe.
Have a spar ball there, do you?
I seen the spar ball out the back there, so maybe
jump in. Beautiful. Thanks.
I'd love to come over. That would be good. That would be good.
Thanks for coming in, Shane.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Not James. And great to have you on Paid to Talk.
Yep, and keep up the good work, the fitness, and inspiring people, and all the best. Thanks, buddy.
Mate. Thank you.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
I have a Barbie now, eh?